Adam. Genesis 2:15 through 3:24. 15. And the Lord God took the man and put him into the Garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it. 16. And the Lord God commanded the man, saying, Of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat. 17. But of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it, for in the day that thou eatest thereof thou shalt surely die. 18. And the Lord said, It is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him an helpmeet for him. 19. And out of the ground the Lord God formed every beast of the field, and every fowl of the air, and brought them unto Adam to see what he would call them. And whatsoever Adam called every living creature, that was the name thereof. 20. And Adam gave names to all cattle, and to the fowl of the air, and to every beast of the field. But for Adam there was not found an helpmeet for him. 21. And the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs, and closed up the flesh instead thereof. 22. And the rib which the Lord God had taken from man made he a woman, and brought her unto the man. 23. And Adam said, This is now bone of my bones, and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. 24. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. 25. And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and were not ashamed. Chapter 3. 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath God said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? 2. And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden. 3. But of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden God hath said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. 4. And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die. 5. For God doth know that in the days ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. 6. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. 7. And the eyes of them both were opened, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together, and made themselves aprons. 8. And they heard the voice of the Lord God walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord God amongst the trees of the garden. 9. And the Lord God called unto Adam, and said unto him, Where art thou? 10. And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid, because I was naked, and I hid myself. 11. And he said, Who told thee that thou wast naked? Hast thou eat of the tree, whereof I commanded thee that thou shouldest not eat? 12. And the man said, The woman whom thou gavest to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I did eat. 13. And the Lord God said unto the woman, What is this that thou hast done? And the woman said, The serpent beguiled me, and I did eat. 14. And the Lord God said unto the serpent, Because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust thou shalt eat all the days of thy life. 15. And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. 16. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. 17. And unto Adam he said, Because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, Thou shalt not eat of it, cursed is the ground for thy sake. In sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life. 18. Thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat the herb of the field. 19. In the sweat of thy face thou shalt eat bread, till thou return unto the ground, for out of it wast thou taken, for dust thou art, and unto dust thou shalt return. 20. And Adam called his wife's name Eve, because she was the mother of all living. 21. Unto Adam also and to his wife did the Lord God make coats of skins, and clothe them. 22. And the Lord God said, Behold, the man is become as one of us, to know good and evil. And now lest he put forth his hand, and take also of the tree of life, and eat, and live forever. 23. Therefore the Lord God sent him forth from the Garden of Eden, to till the ground from whence he was taken. 24. So he drove out the man, and he placed at the east of the Garden of Eden cherubim, and a flaming sword, which turned every way, to guard the way of the tree of life. Adam in this story symbolizes Jesus, and Eve the church. Adam has to take care of and keep the garden, which is like salvation. Adam names all of the animals. This is symbolic of how Jesus will judge the nations. Naming is important in symbolism regarding salvation. For example, Genesis 17:5. 5. Neither shall thy name any more be called Abram, but thy name shall be Abraham, for a father of many nations have I made thee. And also Genesis 30:6. 6. And Rachel said, God hath judged me, and hath also heard my voice, and hath given me a son. Therefore she called his name Dan. The name Dan means judge, and the other names in this account refer to the circumstances by which they were conceived. God takes Eve from Adam's rib. This is parallel to the account in John 19:34. 34. But one of the soldiers with a spear pierced his side, and forthwith came there out blood and water. The blood symbolizes the sacrifice, and the water symbolizes the Word or Spirit of God. This is where the church came from, the sacrifice and Word or Spirit of God. They became one flesh, or were married, which is a frequent symbol in the whole of the Bible for the relationship of God and the church. They were both naked. This stands for the fact that they were in a sinful condition, but at the time they did not recognize it. The woman gave Adam the fruit to eat after she had eaten. This is symbolic of the church giving Jesus her sins. In the literal story, they made aprons of fig leaves. In other words, they tried to cover their sin themselves. God comes back and they realize they are in a sinful state, and they hide from God because they are naked. While this is not a continuation of the symbolism that had been before, it is a continuation of the theme of New Testament style salvation. I have already commented about the enmity between her seed and your seed. Notice when God curses Adam, he talks to him about sowing the field. This is in striking resemblance to the parable of the sower in Matthew 13:3-9. 3. And he spake many things unto them in parables, saying, Behold, a sower went forth to sow. 4. And when he sowed, some seeds fell by the wayside, and the fowls came and devoured them up. 5. Some fell upon stony places, where they had not much earth, and forthwith they sprung up, because they had no deepness of earth. 6. And when the sun was up, they were scorched, and because they had no root, they withered away. 7. And some fell among thorns, and the thorns sprung up and choked them. 8. But other fell into good ground, and brought forth fruit, some an 100-fold, some 60-fold, some 30-fold. 9. Who hath ears to hear, let him hear. Then Jesus explains what he means. Matthew 13:18-23. 18. Hear ye therefore the parable of the sower. 19. When anyone heareth the word of the kingdom, and understandeth it not, then cometh the wicked one, and catcheth away that which was sown in his heart. This is he which received seed by the wayside. 20. But he that receives seed into stony places, the same is he that heareth the word, and anon with joy receiveth it. 21. Yet hath he not root in himself, but dureth for a while. For when tribulation or persecution ariseth because of the word, by and by he is offended. 22. He also that receives seed among the thorns is he that heareth the word, and the care of this world, and the deceitfulness of riches choke the word, and he becometh unfruitful. 23. But he that receives seed into the good ground is he that heareth the word, and understandeth it, which also beareth fruit, and bringeth forth, some an 100-fold, some 60, some 30. Then God clothed them with the skins of animals. This had to involve the killing of an animal. The blood sacrifice was what was necessary to cover their sins, and it had to come from God. Then we have God throwing Adam and Eve out from the Garden of Eden and placing a cherubim with a flaming sword at its entrance. This is symbolic of God's judgment. There is a garden, which symbolizes salvation, And then there is an angel who holds a sword, who symbolizes damnation. God sends Adam out to till the ground from whence he came, and again I think of the parable of the sower sent out to fill the world with the gospel of Jesus. This book is available to download in its entirety for free at smashwords.com and eventually here on YouTube. If you want to hear more, subscribe to this channel. God bless.